This conference will now be recorded.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Heidi Ibrahim. Welcome to our webinar today for the broker portal. We are going to take you today on how to submit a file, how to attach condition, how to run DU, all kind of stuff that help and smooth the setup. So I'm gonna start showing you how to log into the broker portal. It's off of our website. It's in the broker portal to the top right corner. You simply just click on it. You have to put your login and password, which is assigned by the broker desk when you sign up with us. You're gonna log in, and then you'll see your pipeline. So to begin with, I wanted to go over all these tabs on the left where you can do a lot of things on it. On here, the first tab is broker pipeline. This is basically all the loans that you have with us as a company. It's going to show like this. What status is it? What loan amount? Who's the LO? Who's the processor? Things like that. On here on the quick pricer, this is where you have, you can just launch quick pricer where you can price a file without uploading the loan to our system. You simply just have to enter the information. Please mute all your lines, please. If you please, can you mute? Make sure your line is muted. So going back to the quick pricer, it's simply you have to just enter all the information that you need and you price the loan that way instead of just uploading the complete file. Create a new loan. It's basically either you import at 3.2 or you can create manually the purchase loan or refinance loan. So here it's basically you choose the 3.2, upload it, or you can enter a purchase loan. By first step, you enter the first name, last name, social security, and hit next, and it takes you to the next step. Or same thing in refinance, you can enter it manually. For the broker resources, this has also our guideline and simple disclosures. For the guideline, it breaks it down to conventional FHA and VA, and simply you can just click on it and it's going to take you directly to the guidelines. You don't need to go out of the broker portal for you to check the guidelines or our overlays or matrices. Service credentials. This is, we're working on making it for you to can enter more than one service credentials, but for now you can enter your DU. For you, it's going to be DO credentials. You simply have to add credentials here. You're going to put the AUS, login, password, and you hit save. Manage portal, where basically you can add users and give them specific access to it. And the broker desk will assign one credential to the main broker. You can add a lot of access here, a lot of users, logins here, where if you have like more than processor, more than one LO, this is where you give them all the access right here. It's very simple, to the point, and it's easy to navigate. So right now, I want to take you on creating a new loan. I will import a loan right now by 3.2. So simply, you're going to import Fannie Mae file, which is a 3.2. Choose a file, and it's a Fannie Mae. You have to click I understand that all applicants, all of that, and then you hit import. Once you import, it's gonna land on the 1003 page, which is page 1, 2, and 3. For some reason, whenever you bring in the 3.2, the mortgage applied for, it's always as other. So you have to check which correct loan type that you're applying for. For our scenario here, we are doing a conventional loan. And then everything should be coming from the 3.2, the loan amount, the interest rate, the property address, all that good stuff. It's very simple. And then page 2. Once you hit page 2 or you have changes that were unsaved, the system will alert you that for you to save. Once you hit save, it's going to take you to the next step that you're trying to go to. Again, so this is the income, proposed and present PITI, assets, liabilities. And this is also where you can, in case if you have a mortgage that doesn't show on the credit or anything that you need to add. For example, FHA for community property states if you need to add the non-borrowing spouse, you can add it here in case if the 3.2 didn't have it. Page 3 is the same. So it's very simple. It's exactly how it shows on your system. Now, once you make sure everything is entered right here, you want to enter the closing costs. This is where the screen, you are totally going to be responsible for entering your own fees. So that's box A, origination charges. You can enter any fees that you need. We have some templates here with some names, but if you don't find those names that you need, either you simply change the name and add the fees to it right here by simply clicking on the calculator. You can enter here like $200. And if you don't find it here, you have some options here by clicking on the plus sign, and you can add some more. Same thing for box B. We normally put third-party processing fee here in this file, but if you don't have a processing fee, third-party processing fee, you can completely remove it, or by simply, if it's the amount here is incorrect, you can simply just put the calculator and you can change the number here. We try to add as many as possible name for fees right here, but again, if you need to have some more, you can click on the plus sign and you have 1004D, second appraisal, appraisal review, condo review, all kind of stuff that you can choose and enter the fees. Again, I can't stress enough how this closing fee page is very important. You need to make sure, double check it, confirm all the fees that you need or applies for this file is entered correctly. You're still going to be submitting your fee sheet in the file just to make sure everything is matching, but definitely you are totally responsible for this page. The per diem is prepaid, initial escrow payment at closing, all kind of stuff is right here. You can definitely select who is going to be collecting this fee. You have all kind of stuff on the list here that you can select. Now we're going to go to the impound account, which is non-P&I housing expenses. Once you enter the closing cost date or the estimated closing date right here, the first payment date is going to be automatically calculated or in the system, and make sure this is correct there. The first tab is the mortgage insurance. I'm doing a conventional loan, but for some reason this has been entered. So I'm going to go ahead and remove it and make sure this is, since it doesn't apply on conventional loan, my loan is 80% LTV, less than 80% LTV. It's basically I have to remove this up front MIP 1.75, as well as on the right side, I'm going to remove that too. If this is an FHA loan, you want to make sure this is 1.75. You have your annual premium rate, depends on the LTV, 0.85 or 0.80. If it's more than 625, you want to make sure it's 1.05 or 1 point. So again, this is the first step for mortgage insurance. You want to make sure if it's less than 80% LTV, this has to be blank. Now I'm going to save. On the second tab, I'm going to take you through the second tab, which is another important tab, is the hazard insurance. It's going to be calculated automatically as soon as you put the first due date on top, and here is the due date right here. So you want to always make sure its calculation source is going to be a calculator for the system. Once you put the due date, the system will calculate the amount of months that needs to be collected. If you are impounding this account, you want to make sure it is impounded here. You click escrowed. And for example, this example that we're doing, I have my hazard insurance needs to be paid in full in the month of June. So I need to collect the 12 months in June. But since it is due in June and it is before my first payment in August, for our example, I want to make sure it is prepaid as well. Then it is being collected at closing for that much, and when it's due again, it's 2020. So again, here you see that's 0, so I have to make sure how many prepaid months I need to add. In this case, I need the full month, the full year to be added because the hazard insurance, it's paid yearly. But I wouldn't really worry about this too much because our doc department will make sure this is correct. So just for you, if you want to have good figures or confirmed figures with your borrower that you're going to go over with the borrower, you want to make sure you have this as close as possible to the final numbers. Same thing, if you have flood insurance, you just enter the same thing. Property taxes, same thing too. Type of taxes is county taxes. I want to make sure it's calculator source. In California, this our example is in California, and it is due in March, which is 6 months in March, and another 6 months in November. So now I want to make sure I have, this one is impounded. I want to make sure I have enough when is it due in my impound account. And they want to reserve months is going to be calculated, and I want to have a cushion for 2 months. So again, this is very simple. As long as you put the correct information in there, the system will be able to calculate it for you, and then you'll have as close as possible confirmed figure for the cash from the borrower. Once you do once you finish your closing costs, you hit save, and now the screen where all the fun begins. The pricing tab. The pricing tab is basically where you're going to register your loan, you will reissue your credit, run DU, and run LP. I would recommend that you run DO and LP before you register your loan to make sure you are given the best pricing or you choose the right pricing for your file. So right now, in the property and loan info, this is a cash out for me. My loan is a cash out. It's always going to give you a question, how much is the cash out amount? I'm going to put $1. You don't have to really put a specific amount. This is a debt consolidation. Yes, it is. And I also want to make sure I'm going to reissue my credit through the loan application tab. Because you won't be able to register, run DU, or anything like that unless if you reissue the credit in the system. And by reissuing the credit into the system, it basically brings all the liability from the credit to the system, to the liability screen, as well as adding a copy of my credit report into our eDoc folder. So I'm going to click on Reissue Credit Report. My vendor is Credit Plus, so I'm going to choose the right one. And I'm going to reissue credit. And then you simply put the password here. If you don't remember your username and password for that file, and if your credit company gives you an instant password, you don't need to put the logins here. You simply have to put the file ID number, which is the file number, and you have to put the instant view password, and you're still going to be able to pull it and reissue the credit into the system. Also, this credit credentials here is basically to reissue the credit. You have a different set of credentials to use when you reissue it into DU. So let's not get confused. This is just basically to reissue the credit into the system, and it is different from the one to reissue into DU. Once you click on reissue, it should pull up all the liabilities into my file and save a copy of the PDF credit report into the eDocs folder. Very good. So it's really quick, very easy. As long as you remember your password and credential, it puts it on here. Now I'm gonna go ahead and make sure I don't have any alert messages here. So apparently it says the current, there's no mortgage liability marked to be paid off. For some reason, if this happens, you gotta make sure you clear all the alert messages before you run your LP or DU. So I'm gonna go back again to the application information, which is simply the 1003. Page 2 is basically what I have my liability screen. I'm going to edit the liability. I'm going to add one. That's a mortgage. Very simple. Now I added my liability for the mortgage. I want to make it paid off, and it's right here, and it's already linked. Once you hit save, we're going to go back to the pricing screen, and that error or alert message should be gone. Very good, right here. So now I'm going to run my LPA. And for LPA, it's a seamless, so you don't need to have your own credentials. You're going to use our credentials to completely submit it seamless from our system by simply hit next, and hopefully you don't have any errors. We run our credit reporting company through Equifax. So if your company that you're using for credit, if it's not associated with Equifax, we're not going to be able to reissue through our system. And those companies is Factual Data, CoreLogic, Credco, CBC, Equifax, and Noverse. We will be sending you a list of those companies after we're finished the webinar. But if you have all these companies, if your credit company is one of these companies, then you should be good to go. It should be quicker than that, but it's right here. So because I'm using just a credit version, if for just testing, I'm getting an invalid, but you should be receiving AUS Streamline Accept, and you should be able to, once you hit update, it's going to be saved in our eDocs. I'm going to try the DU as well. On your side, you're going to be running DO, but in my side, I'm going to be running DU. Again, you're going to put your username and password right here. You hit submit, and it's going to take you to DU. You want to always put credit and underwriting so you can reissue the credit in DU. And again, these are different credentials that you need to use to reissue the credit in DU. So you should have a separate set of credentials. So once you get that screen, you should be able to view your findings. Again, I'm using a test credit version, so I'm getting error credentials, but you should be able to see it. And by simply view findings, And it's going to look like that. Basically, the LTV, the loan amount, DTI, everything like that. If you're not familiar and comfortable with this view, you can simply go back to the classic desk, the DU, and it's going to look like that. Once you exit this screen, this other screen is going to pop up, and you also want to make sure that you keep the DU findings only checked. You don't want to check the 1003, neither the credit, because we already reissued the credit into the system. Once you hit update, it will be saved in our eDocs folder. Great. Now my final step, I want to be able to register my loan. So I needed to have a 30 years fixed conventional. And I'm going to price. Your screen is going to show like that. This is register, whatever interest rate is, and this program is going to show up Bluepoint conforming 30, or if you want to do it LP, it's going to show Bluepoint Freddie 30 years. I'm going to register this loan since I wanted to have it a DU, and I'm going to hit register. This is your registration certificate, just basically telling you you're doing a cash out. If it's more than 45% DTI, you need to have a minimum 6 months reserves. This is just a summary of your registration form. I'm just going to close it. So that's pretty much in the pricing screen. The most of the time you're going to spend is in the pricing screen where you run LPDU, register the loan, reissue the credit, all kind of stuff like that. Right now, my status is it's registered because I opened the loan and registered the loan. We will not going to be able to see the file until you take it all the way to submit it. And by submitting the file, you got to make sure you upload all your documents that's needed for that specific file, income, assets, docs, everything like that. Here in the agent screen, open and created that file, but your name is not assigned to that file, you're not going to be able to make any changes. Your access is going to be denied. So if Heidi opened up this file, but the loan officer or processor is different than Heidi, then you won't be able to have access to this file. So make sure if you're getting access denied, you just go back to the status and agent screen and make sure your name is assigned to the file. The other thing is you won't be able to make any changes if you have lock requested. So make sure before you request the lock, you're uploading the 3.2, you're finishing editing the 1003 for any reason if you miss anything. Once you hit lock requested, you won't be able to edit this file. So now I want to go into eDocs. And eDocs is basically, it's where you're going to upload all your documents, which is 1003, assets, pay stubs, depends on what kind of loan that you're trying to do. By uploading the documents, simply you only going to need to select files to upload right here. And you can upload more than one file at a time. So I'm going to upload all my documents into this file in one click of a button, and you're going to see them here. You won't be able to see them unless if you select document type. By simply this one, I'm going to look for bank statements. So you have two ways. Either you go into assets and look for bank statements, or you simply just go here and search for bank statements. Once you hit search, you're going to see bank statements, and here's what you select the document to. I've seen some brokers like to separate their bank statements and put dates here or bank account number. You're free to do any of this. So anything that you need to put is going to be in the description right here. Again, I'm going to select the document type for the income, which is this one is pay stub. And you have the option to check either for pay stub, for borrower, or for co-borrower. For our example here, it's one borrower, so I'm going to choose borrower. And this is my 1003. which is my initial 1003 that's signed by LO. And now I'm going to upload. It doesn't take long at all to upload. It's already uploaded. But don't wait here. You gotta go to the document list, and everything you did on this loan is going to be here, including the LP findings, the credit report, DU, the registration certificate, all that good stuff. By simply clicking on the PDF, and it's going to show, once you open it, it's going to show the PDF. Now, once I did everything on it, I priced the loan, I registered, I ran DU, I uploaded my documents. Still, you won't be able, as internally, we will not be able to see your file until it's submitted. On here, you'll see some tasks that you need to make sure that it's completed to take this file to submit it. So you're going to click on task, which is one task that you have. You got to make sure both are always resolved. By resolving this two condition or two tasks, this file is going to move to submitted. But again, by clicking this, we will see the submission in our system. But if you take it all the way to submitted and we don't have anything uploaded for 48 hours, the loan is going to be automatically canceled. So make sure you're taking it to submitted and it's through submission. Now I want to show you how you can upload conditions to an approved file. This one is basically, I have an approval. So I'm going to the file itself, to the loan. I'm simply clicking on the loan number. And you have some conditions right here. So you want to click on the conditions for that specific file. It's very simple. So I'm going to have like some internal documents. You don't need to do anything with internal. This is just simply for us. This is the PTD condition, for example. By simply clicking files to upload right here and you want to associate to that condition, you're going to click here and attach your document that really going to clear that condition. You selecting the document type. And you're going to click upload document. Once you click upload document, it's going to be associated to that condition. You can add more to the same condition if you like, or you can move on to the next one. So for example, we did for this one, and we added title to the condition, and you want to add maybe, I don't know, like a tax cert. You can add more than one document to it, but you make sure that it's named correctly and you choose the correct document type. By doing so, you still have to alert your account managers because they will not get a notification if you uploaded anything into your portal. You simply need to send them an email. I link to my conditions. I upload them. Please push through the underwriter. And by doing so, they will review the condition and shoot it to the underwriter. So the underwriter will see it in their queue. Again, you can still do it on every single file, single condition. So the portal is very simple. You can do a lot of things to it and through it. You can put your closing costs, you can upload, you can add, you can do all kind of stuff through the portal. You can give access to a lot of users through it, and we encourage you to start using this portal as much as possible. Because we will not going to be accepting any 3.2 files being emailed or PDF being emailed. We have order services here as far as 4506 or appraisals. Those are not being worked on right now. The system is still being worked on to, maybe you'll be able in the future to be ordering your 4506 and appraisals through the system. But as of the time being, this is not a service that you can order through your portal. And that's our simply our training and webinar for today. I will open it for your questions. Please make sure if you don't have a question, mute your line. Okay, so we have some questions here. This is basically for Royal and Blue. This is simply if you have logins through Portal, through Royal and Bluepoint, this is simply the same thing. You're going to be using the same credentials for both. So another question, it says, just to make sure, once you upload the condition, Underwriter is not automatically notified. Yes, Underwriter will not be automatically notified. You have to notify your account managers first. Okay, so another question is saying, can you run through the task tab again? It's simply you have to go in the specific file, you go through the task, and you will have only a pending task here, which is basically pushing the file to submitted status. Once you resolve the task, then the file will be submitted into submitted status. Another question. This one, it said, should I fill out my new submission through your portal directly? Don't need to upload 3.2. Yes, you can. It's simply, if you don't have a 3.2, you still have to go back and create a file by creating either a purchase loan or a refinance loan. So definitely, I encourage, if you don't have a system that you're working on or you don't have a system that's available for you, go ahead, use our portal to create the purchase loans and refinance loan tabs. Another question is, this is being recorded? Yes, it is being recorded. A link will follow after our webinar. It's going to go to whoever registered, just in case if you have any questions. This one, so our account rep will send us the LP login and password to use to run LP and DU. For LP, you don't need to have your own credentials to run it LP through our system. You're simply going to run it through Seamless, which is going to be in our file, which is under the loan, right here in the loan. Please mute your line. Okay, so going back to the running LP, it's simply through pricing and run LP through clicking Run LP Seamless. You don't need your own credentials. By running LP through our system, you just simply hit next and it's going to use our credential. For running DU, you on your side, you have to run your DO, and we have to sponsor you by using our system. So we'll send you also credentials and, not credentials, I'm sorry. We'll send you step-by-step how to be sponsored through DO. This question, it says, what if we run DU through our system? You simply have to finalize it from your system and assign it to us as Royal Pacific Funding Corp, and we'll be able to see it on our side. Simply upload a copy of your DU in eDocs, and we'll be able to run it through our system for you. This one, it says, can we release initial disclosures ourselves? We are going to try to work on this one. This is our next project, but for now, you're only going to be putting your closing costs in the system, in the portal, and we will push it through for you. This one is DU login different than the login to enter the system? Yes, it is different. It's assigned to you when we sponsor you through DU. Can we remove docs from the specific file too, or it's only allowed to upload? It's only allowed to upload. But if you, for any reason, you uploaded a wrong document into the file, once we review it or setup reviews it, we'll simply be able to not remove it from the file, but we'll put a note on there. This one, it says that we'll be sending initial disclosures with fees we input, but is there any way we change, any changes will be you doing with COC? Again, we're basically sending the initial disclosures for you. We are totally responsible for entering the closing docs, the closing costs. For any COCs after the initial disclosures is being sent out, we will be, you will have to contact your account managers to do this for you. This one, what if when I upload the 3.2, and it defaults to refinance cash out instead of VA or IRL. How can I change that on my side? It's simply, you're gonna go on your application, this information, and you have to change it from here. You're gonna go VA, and once you register it correctly as a VA IRL, it's going to take the cash out from there. If you're running into a problem switching loans or program, please contact our setup department and we'll be able to help you out. This question, if we run LP or DU ourselves, do we have to give you our credit agency credentials? Yes, you will have to give us your DU in case if we need to rerun the DU on our side. For some reason, I've seen it lately where the credit report gets detached from the DU. So for that reason, it's really, really important. I cannot stress this enough. On the submission sheet, you really need to put your credentials for DU on there. For LP, you don't need to because we're running it through our master credentials. This another question, listing agents are required DUs with offers. Can we just pull DU through your web? File is not ready to be submitted. It's really hard to really do DU through the web. You have to do it through the 3.2. So you really have to put the 3.2, finish it before you do the DU, and then definitely you can give this to your listing agent. These all questions through the chat. Now we can open up the line if you have any more questions. Your line is unmuted. Hello?
You're doing well. Okay.
Any more questions? Okay, so I think all the questions have been answered. We really, really encourage you to use our broker portal. As of tomorrow, we are not going to be accepting any more submissions through emails. If you have any questions, contact me, Heidi Ibrahim, or Barry Michael. We have a full staff that can lend you a great help. And thank you so much for joining our webinar today and making the time. We have a link that's going to go through directly after our webinar. You can watch our webinar at any time it's more convenient for you. Thank you, and have a great day, and thank you for your business.